Chapter 18. I did get to Paris within a month to see Mr. Gurdjieff again, but during that period I came to feel that he had somehow known beforehand exactly what was going to happen to me before I saw him again. The details are of no particular interest, but among the highlights of that period are the facts that the predicted letdown was severe. I was hospitalized, where oddly enough my treatment at first consisted in having to drink a good deal of cognac daily, and was, of course, unable to take his medicine for more than about 10 days. In any case, I was not troubled about the medicine, because I had had absolutely no reaction to it. I did continue to do the exercises that Gurdjieff had prescribed for me, and I did certainly go through a dangerous period, a kind of self and world evaluation that seemed to shake my foundations. And during that period, the predicted death wish was very strong indeed. One saving grace during that month was that, sceptically, I wondered just how suggestible I had been when I was with Gurdjieff in Paris. Was I, as it were, unconsciously producing the climaxes that he had predicted might happen? The question, even though unanswerable, did serve to help me maintain some sort of balance and objectivity, and I was not especially concerned with finding an answer to it. When I arrived in Paris again, I telephoned Mr. Gurdjieff, and he made an appointment to meet me at a cafe later that morning. After we had met, and while we were drinking coffee, we were approached by an elderly woman who proceeded to have a long conversation with Mr. Gurdjieff in Russian. I understood enough of their conversation to gather that it was primarily concerned with problems of health, finance, and the difficulty of obtaining sufficient food in Paris at that time. The black market, I knew, was flourishing, and while food was available, it was tremendously expensive. At the conclusion of the conversation, the woman opened a package, wrapped in newspaper, and held up a small oil painting for us to look at. Mr. Gurdjieff asked her various questions about it, when she had painted it and so forth, and finally bought it from her for several thousand francs. She thanked him effusively, and I gathered that, thanks to his purchase, she would be able to afford to eat for a few more days. When she left us, Gurdjieff sighed, handed the painting to me, asked me to carry it back to his apartment, and hang it in the hall, which was already lined with similar paintings, from the baseboard to the ceiling. When I had hung the picture, he asked me if I remembered Jane Heap, Miss Keep, as he called her. I said that I did, of course, and he said, "You know, Miss Keep, not having sympathy for my paintings. Last time she come here, I asked her what she think of my paintings, and she told me, 'Mr. Gurdjieff, you have everything here except art.' Miss Keep not appreciate what I do." I could not help being amused by Jane's remark, but was interested in what he was going to say about it. He promptly went into a long harangue about art and the creative impulse, pointing out that it was particularly difficult for an artist to make money during the war, and that it was equally difficult now that the war was just about over. He went on to say that he did not collect art for his love of it, nor did he do it only from generosity and a desire to help the unfortunate artists. He said that it was very important for that old lady that someone should buy her art, because in spite of what Miss Keep or I or anyone else might feel about the quality of her painting, she had painted her pictures with her being, her real heart, and that it was very bad for any such creativity not to find an outlet, that is to say, a buyer. I also get benefit from her art, he continued, for in my house many people see her paintings, and paintings of such other unfortunate people, and they tell I have worst collection of paintings in Paris, perhaps in all world. I already unique to most people who know me, but in my collection of bad art people see that I am still more unique, in another way unique. After this joke, he said more seriously, "But, in truth, people could learn from this old lady. Unlike many people who know I generous and will help others, she never asked for money, but always only wished money for painting. She already understand what some intellectual people not understand. If received money, should give something for it." After this lecture, we prepared lunch, and our first drink was, contrary to custom, a toast to the health and prosperity of the little old lady artist.